Okay, day 5. Oh boy, have I got something to show you. You guys ready? Let's just jump right into it. I'm still on this stone paver repair job, and I just fixed the top post all the way down at the end of the hill. I got my little caution. You can see it right down there in the very center of the video. I just repaired that, put a big plug in it. Let's go look at what I'm doing back here. Okay, make sure that's locked. Yep. Okay, let's go take a look. Okay, there we are. I just finished this an hour ago, and remember, using what I had here. We didn't want to buy anything because it was just not worth it. Okay, there's the rest of the wall. Of course, the design is a little different. You can tell he used a lot of these little small blocks in there. See the pattern he's using? And of course, this is the guy who built all this stuff. He built all of this, and including this masterpiece. So you can see a definite pattern in the way he laid his stone. See it? See all those little blocks separating bigger blocks and creating a pattern. Well, again, I didn't have an abundance of stone. Plus, I had to salvage what I had at the farm. And the homeowner came out and said, yep, good enough. Because that planter right there is going right there. That's where it's always been. So, top cap's done. Okay. This using, like I said, what I got. Now you're probably asking, what's all this stuff? Well, let me tell you about it. I was supposed to only skim coat this back wall, but since she saw that I was able to handle this, even though I told her I'm not a professional, this is not something that I do every single day, but I've worked on this house enough times and they just trust me. And I told them, I said, thank you very much for the trust, because that goes a long ways as far as I'm concerned. Now, I want you to stare at something. Do you see this pattern here on this outer wall? You see it? Okay. The pattern on the outer wall is different than the pattern on the inner wall. That's right, boys and girls. They're different. So, when I demoed this inner wall, when I demoed that section of wall, guess what I was able to save? All this outside block. Well, that outside block now is inside block. So, do you get that? Like I said, this is still wet, still setting up. And I skim coated this. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This is coat number 1. Now, I went to YouTube and looked at a lot of examples of how to do this, okay? A lot of variations. And the first thing I noticed, they say wet the block and then put 1 coat of skim coat on it. And the reason why the block, those ridges show up, like those ridges right there, show up underneath stuff like this, because the mortar is not thick enough. The mortar has to be 1/4 inch thick. There's the hot tub. And of course you didn't see this, I finished out all this. So, excuse me, let me get up here and get around in a better vantage point. And get back over here. Got all my stuff laid out already. Now, the object is, obviously, is to take those patterns, which we got a deal on these, man. This is kind of like Rosetta Stone. It is stone, okay? And I looked up a bunch of tutorials on this. And basically, like I said, this is still wet, so I don't want to screw things up. But you get the idea. This is going to be the fascia for this right here. Because they wanted to hide this bare wall over here and turn it into something nice. There we go. They wanted to turn it into something nice. So with my limited ability and watching many, many hours of YouTube, this is the process that I'm doing. So this is the first coat, and it's got to sit. It's got to go ahead and get fairly stiff, okay? And the reason why, it's got to tack. It's got to tack to the CMU block. And they told me just to figure out something over here, this little rough thing. Now, I could grind that. But let me tell you something, the vibration, I don't want to create any vibration on this wall until this thing has 24 hours of cure time. That's the bottom line. That's right, 24 hours of cure time. This is a first for me, getting so much of this type of work, doing this type of work in this setting. I'll be honest with you. I at first thought, okay, this is a pretty straightforward process, and I can handle it without too much issue, even though I've never really done this kind of work. Now, I've done a lot of repair work. I do it at the hospital. I've been busting concrete out there forever. But when you start doing designer stone, this becomes more of an art form, okay? It literally is an art form. So I had to step back a little bit and say, well, I don't have that much experience. So like I said, I indulged in hours and hours and hours of other people's YouTube videos. Didn't leave any comments because I just wanted to see technique. That's what I did. And believe me, I got a lot of pointers, which I learned. This is a massive learning curve for me. And, considering, that, like I said, don't do this all the time, so far, so good. You can see it's a very, very nice square area where this was just straight up block and some rough edges, some really rough edges. And I got all those edges really tight. They're really tight to where, it's basically repairing the damaged area or the exposed CMU block area, whatever, that's pretty much was the concept. Now I'm going to let this set up. I'm going to go run to lunch and come back and test this and see if I need to float it anymore. But right now I've got about right under a 1/4 inch thickness on this now. And it's fairly even. So when I put this up, I'm going to be using a special mortar, and let me show you. And like I said, we got a deal on this. Let me, I forgot all about it. Here's the deal at Lowe's. The customer found this. It was some broken pieces. You can see there's broken pieces in here, okay? See? There's about 5 pieces that were broken, but the rest of them okay. And they had 50% off the retail on it with taxes. The consumer price was $300, and I was able to buy all of this for $124 out the door. So the customer's real happy about that. All right, let's go look at this other product. Man, it's a beautiful day. What I'm trying to do is is the next couple of days are going to be really, really warm. I mean, we're not supposed to get any more rain. Thank God we've had too much rain around here. I mean, way too much rain. So what I want to do is go to the beach for a couple of days, because right now it's fishing season on the coast of North Carolina. And as you know, my fishing van is all rigged up, ready to go. I just got to secure some bait, and I want to take off because I didn't expect this job. I had that big interior basement upfit job at the end of December. I spent 7 days out there doing that, and I really thought, okay, that's enough. I'm good. And then this popped up, and I said, oh, hell yeah, I'm jumping into this just for the extra money. But this is what I'm getting right here. This is for the veneer stone mortar, okay? Veneer stone mortar. This is what I'm going to use. Okay, I know you see that. All right. This is what I've been using, Quick Creek mortar. And so far I like this product, but you got to let this stuff set up so it gets hard. You need 24 hours. Once you put this up, you need to wait 24 hours, and then it'll stiffen up. Now, whether or not this is any better, I know it's more expensive. This is like $5 a bag, and this was $11 a bag. Okay. Got everything all staged over here. I used all those rocks. Got my trash. And I'm getting close, man, to being done. Like I said, I'm real close to being done here. And I gotta take some downtime, man. I put in a bunch of bids at the hospital to take down all the Christmas lights. I have not gotten approval on that yet. If that gets approved, then next week I'm gonna be wide open for like 3 days again. So this would be the perfect opportunity, a good window to go and go to the beach for a couple of days and go do some surf fishing. Because I tell you what, man, I've gone 3 times this year already. I've already been to the beach 3 times. I already did one video when I was down there, and I went another time, didn't do any videos while I was there. I had some fun. It was nice weather, and I'm gonna go again. All right, guys, talk to you soon. Tom out of here. Leave those comments, subscribe, share, like, and I'll see you tonight.